Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. If you're in the back, if you want to make your way on up, we're about to get started. Thank you, Puckett's. Breakfast was delicious today, so we are so blessed. Yeah, let's just thank Puckett's right now. Way to go. So good. I mean, what a great way to start today. So, and welcome to Breakfast with the Mayors. I'm Jeff Simmons. I'm pastor here at Rolling Hills Community Church. And let's just give a hand for Mindy. Doesn't she do an incredible job? Mindy and Peggy, thank you guys. I mean, it's incredible that we get to be a part of this, and we are so grateful and so thankful. So if you're in the back, just come on up, make your way up. I'm going to go ahead and pray for us, and we're going to start today, and we can't wait. Great program today. So many great things happening here at Franklin. So let me pray for us right now. Father God, thank you. Thank you that we live in such an amazing place, Franklin, Tennessee. So many people want to move here, God, and we are so blessed to live in this place. And I pray a blessing on every person who lives in Franklin. I pray a blessing on their families, God. I thank you for our community. I pray a blessing on our mayors. And God, we are so blessed with Mayor Anderson, Father, and Mayor Moore, and God, just their wisdom here in Williamson County and right here in Franklin. And so I pray, God, that you just continue to put wise people around them, God, and bless them and bless our community. Thank you for our first responders. Pray a blessing over them today, God, and all of our teachers that make this community so great. And Father, I pray for all of us, God, that we'd be men and women after your heart, that we would seek you all the days of our life, and that we would live and make a difference in our community for your glory. We love you and we dedicate today to you. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Amen.
Just grab one of those. Good morning. How are y'all? Okay, another round of applause for Puckett's for the gravy this morning, okay? I did not get to enjoy that, but I'm sure if I show up, Pam and others will make sure I get some gravy later today if I need that, because, you know, the world gets better with gravy. I just have to say that. And I know how to make gravy. I'm not a Southerner by birth, but I have learned how to make some good milk gravy, country gravy, but it's very important in my life to have gravy. So this has been a great day so far. I think the gravy was also, Peggy, just to comfort people as we begin to talk about taxes a little bit. Just something easing us in a little bit.
I don't know how to make it.
No, it's fine. Just, it's on.
It is on. I don't know how to make it, but I know how to eat it. So maybe they'll save some for me too.
So I'm Mindy Tate, CEO of Franklin Tomorrow. We're glad so many of you are here this morning. If you didn't sign up, welcome. And if you're a first-time attendee, raise your hand, please. First-time attendee, and we should have given you a little green sticker and a little gift. We welcome you and thank you for getting engaged in your community. Franklin Tomorrow, our mission for the last 25 years has been to engage the community, foster collaboration, and then advocate for a shared vision for the future of Franklin. Sometimes that's the same thing that other people or city officials are working for, and sometimes we might have a different outlook, but we have enjoyed being in Franklin for 25 years and working very hard. This is Peggy Kidd, Franklin Tomorrow's board chair, and Peggy, tell us a little bit about what's going on.
I would be happy to. Breakfast with the Mayors in 2025 is being presented in partnership with Pinnacle Financial Partners and Gresham Smith as co-presenting partners. So let's thank them for as their representatives stand. Is anyone here today?
I saw Vicki and Jessica, some others here.
Great. We also want to thank our 2025 sustaining partner, which includes Atmos Energy, and we're going to play a message from them.
At Atmos Energy, our vision is to be the safest provider of natural gas services, and it drives everything we do. Every day, we rely on our partners like you to keep our communities, our customers, and our employees safe. During Safe Digging Month, we join utility companies from across the country to spread awareness of the water, electric, and natural gas lines buried underground in the communities where we work and live. No matter how big or small the job, please call 811 before you dig. It not only helps prevent ruptured water lines, electrical outages, and natural gas leaks, it also helps keep you and our community safe. It takes everyone to spread the message about the importance of safe digging.
It takes me.
It takes me.
It takes me.
It takes me.
Remember, it takes all of us to help spread the message of safe digging. Thanks for all you do to keep our neighbors and our community safe.
That's great. Thank you, Atmos. Another generous sustaining partner is Williamson Health, and they have a message for us as well.
I think there's a lot of reasons people would want to have surgery at Williamson Health. One of the first things people notice is that they're not treated like a number here.
General surgeon is a surgeon who specializes in a wide range of surgical specialties, including breast cancer, colon cancer, skin cancer. We also treat hernias, gallbladder disease, acute issues like appendectomies or appendicitis, really anything within the abdomen or soft tissue.
So robotics at Williamson Health has really grown lately, grown almost double, triple in size in the last few years. It allows us to do extremely high-tech operations in the abdomen with very small incisions. Not autonomic surgery where AI is doing the surgery. We control everything.
It's a much better view, much better dexterity, much better ability to see and do fine detailed work. For the patient, I think what it really means is safer surgery, quicker recovery, less post-op pain, and overall better outcome.
We spend a lot of time face-to-face with patients, and then our surgeons always come in behind us and do the same. Make sure that they've established a relationship with the patient before we take them to the OR. And really the most important thing to all of us is making sure that the patient understands what is going on with your body.
When you walk into a room with a general surgeon, it's not only you need surgery, I'm taking something out immediately. It's we're going to talk to you about this, we're going to do a step-by-step plan and making sure that you feel comfortable and safe before we do anything.
We have some of the best surgeons that I've ever met in one of the best locations in terms of accessibility and in terms of the staff in the OR, out of the OR, afterwards, on the floor.
I think it's a real special privilege to get to work in the community in which you live. You're taking care of your neighbors, your friends, your family. It really helps us provide personalized care for our patients because we know them, we work with them, they teach our children, they take care of our family.
Anyone that you encounter that's part of the surgery service, whether that's the surgeon themselves, whether it's one of us, the anesthesia team, or any of the nurses that are involved in both your preoperative and postoperative care, you're in excellent hands. And I'm confident enough in that I would put my own care in their hands too.
Thank you very much. And our final 2025 sustaining partner is Reagan Smith, a Pape Dawson company. So let's thank them as well.
Thank all of them. So we just have a few more partners to thank, and that's one of the reasons that Breakfast with the Mayors and most of Franklin Tomorrow's events are free, is because we have great corporate partners, including UHY Audit, Advisory, and Tax Consulting, First Bank, and another new partner this year, Vanderbilt University Medical Center. And finally, our other partners are Vulcan Materials Company and Williamson Memorial Funeral Home and Cremation Service. We've thanked Puckett's extensively for breakfast this morning, but let's also thank Terry Remke from McDonald's Lion Leadership Group for being here. And then I forgot to mention, and they're here this morning, Hazen and Sawyer, and our G Fiber partner, and John Michael Cortez is here and gave me some exciting news that they're finishing up installation in the first two subdivisions here in Franklin, and they'll be ready to sign up some new clients maybe by midsummer. So that could be a great thing. So thank you, John Michael, for being here this morning from G Fiber. Thanks so much. Everybody gets a round of applause. Pat yourself on the back. Yay. I would say pat yourself on the back because you got out of bed and made it here this morning. When that alarm went off at 5 a.m., it was pretty early. So, as I mentioned, 2025 marks the 25th anniversary of Franklin Tomorrow, and it was founded by a group of business and community leaders who wanted to make sure what made Franklin special 25 years ago would still be present today. As part of our commemoration, Franklin is one of 2 cities working with the National Civic League. In the United States, we were chosen by the National Civic League and the Bridge Alliance to participate in the Healthy Democracy Project. One of the projects we're undertaking as part of that this year is the I Voted sticker design contest. We did this a couple years ago for the Franklin City election. Who knows there's an election on October 28th in the city of Franklin? There's an election, by the way, if you want to put that on your calendar. And so we're doing an I Voted sticker design contest. Youth and adult are eligible to enter. The deadline is May 30th. You can go to this QR code or our website and find the information on how to be part of that. The stickers are handed out during early voting and on election day. And this will be an election on October 28th for the ward seats on the 8-member board of mayor and alderman, 4 ward seats. So we hope you will participate in that, and we hope that you will participate in becoming informed and engaged in the election and supporting the candidates of your choice. So thanks so much. As a side note, just to remind you, Breakfast with the Mayors in October will be on October 21st, the week prior to the election, because it normally would have been on October 28th, so we'll move it up a week to October 21st.
And our next event will be May 12th, when Franklin Tomorrow will host its monthly Frank Talk series at the new Franklin Special District Central Office on Eddy Lane in Franklin. So that should be a really good one. We'll be learning about how FSD is soaring ahead with its new facilities, but also about exciting activities in the classroom and more. So please plan to join us. I know I'm looking forward to it because I have twins in Freedom Middle. Nice age, 13. So today we are happy to welcome Williamson County Mayor Rogers Anderson and Franklin Mayor Dr. Ken Moore to the stage for a brief update from each of them, and starting with Mr. Mayor Anderson. Joining them will be Brad Coleman, Williamson County Property Assessor.
So welcome them to the stage. Thank you. I have the clicker, and I believe it starts with you. Well,
but he's going first.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any slides. He doesn't have any slides, Rogers.
But he's got a lot of knowledge.
He's got a lot of knowledge. It's all up here. It's all up here.
I'm not going to pick on you this morning because
Wow, that's a
you need
change.
props to get yours going.
That's for sure.
So
I'll be back here cheering for you. Don't worry, Rogers.
Okay.
Go Rogers.
So, welcome to everyone. Thanks again, Mindy. I look out in the audience and I see a whole bunch of elected officials, county, city. So if you're in an elected position, would you stand, please, so we can give you a round of applause?
And we have some state officials. Some state officials.
And state officials. I know I saw Jack here. So, Mindy, not to take any time away from Brad Coleman and Karen Parrish that'll be making their presentation, nor Ken, I do want to ask people to go to the website, if I can pull it up real quick. There's a website on the county. I also know that it's on the city, different city. I know Fairview's got it. There's a survey asking for your attention on the Safety Action Plan. This is a county-wide program. It's on our website, the Williamson County. It's under the Safety Action Plan, Williamson County. And it's generally asking us to develop a plan to reduce fatalities and serious injuries in our county and in our cities. So if you have the opportunity, would you please go to that website? And it shouldn't take you more than 2 or 3 minutes to answer some basic questions. I appreciate Patty Carroll for bringing that to my attention this morning. So, as always, we're in the final throes of our budget. School's winding down, and that always gives us a sigh of relief. But my budget director, Phoebe Riley's here. If you've got any questions about the financial side, go see Phoebe. It's not my fault. Ken, I will let you have the mic and the floor because I know you've got a lot more, but I appreciate Brad and Karen for being here talking about property.
Let's give Rogers a big hand. Well, it's great to be up here with Rogers, and thank you, Franklin, tomorrow. I mean, what other event do you know where you get a free breakfast and a lot of information, and it didn't cost you a penny? So thanks for your participation. Let me start out by saying at 10:30 this morning is the groundbreaking for McEwen Drive, or what we call McEwen Phase 4, Cool Springs to Wilson Pike. And that's going to be over near the traffic circle on McEwen and Cool Springs Boulevard. So I hope you'll come out. This is a project that's been on the books for a long time, and it's about a $48 million project, and we've already secured about $30 million in federal money that are going to help us build this road that's going to take about 3 years. So the next, I didn't know that was my next slide, but it is. The State of the City is next week on Wednesday morning. We'll be in this same auditorium with the same time frame. We'll open the doors at 7, and I anticipate we'll kick the program off about 7:45. I missed one slide.
That's free.
There you go. No, that's not the one.
I think they took that out.
Okay, I know what it is. My first slide was supposed to be about the city survey. About every other year, we do a survey of our citizens to see how we're doing. And there are some open-ended questions where you can provide information. So many people have already received that. They were an initial group that were picked for statistical purposes, and now it's an opportunity for every citizen to fill that out and express their opinion. I would urge you to do that. You can go to the city website, or you can click that QR code if you're really good and fill that out. I wanted to set the tone just a little bit as far as the presentation before Brad and Karen come up, as far as some of the activity within the city in this past year, 2024. And we had about 1,228 building permits issued during that time. You can see that there's also a lot of other permits that were issued. Sadly, swimming pools are down. I don't know why. The next slide highlights impact fees. You know, we're one of a handful of communities that are able to charge impact fees to developers, and these impact fees help offset the cost of the infrastructure and the impact they're making in our community. And generally speaking, those impact fees are focused on the nexus of where that development is occurring. In 2024, where you can see all the fees that were listed there, which totals about $18 million, and if we didn't have impact fees, that would be money that we would be having to find other sources for. Construction value, I think this bar graph shows it pretty well. In 2024, we had a little over $750 million of permitted development in our community. Kind of the breakdown on that is about 28% of that. That's a 28% increase over 2023, and most of that was commercial properties and also multifamily. As far as the new dwelling units that have been built, you can see that it's been pretty consistent as far as single family and generally townhomes, but you can see there was a big uptick in multifamily in 2024. About 1,000 units were developed in 2024, and that's about 600 more than in 2023. Probably projects that you've seen would be like Optima that's on Cool Springs Boulevard, the Canteen on Carruthers, Wood Duck Court Apartments, Transportation Building here in the county, and the affordable housing at Cherokee Place and Hard Bargain. So that's all I've got this morning. Look forward to Brad's conversation, and maybe that sets the tone a little bit as far as what the development is in Franklin.
So Brad's got a mic, and we'll push that down. So Brad, first, tell us how long you've worked in the property assessor's office and been the property assessor as well. It's on.
Well, I started working in property assessments on April Fool's Day, 1999, and I say the joke's been on me for 26 years now, I guess. But in all seriousness, it's been a great career for me. It's been very good to me. I did start at working in Nashville for Davidson County for Joanne North, and in 2003, an opportunity became available for me to come to the Williamson County, and so I've lived in Fairview for the majority of my life. Was born in Nashville. Dad grew up right next to Vanderbilt Stadium, and but we moved to Fairview when I was in 4th grade. Been there ever since. And I heard one whoop, but there's a lot of Fairview people in here.
Some whoops over there, and the mayor's on the front row right there, so that's good.
I was fortunate enough to get hired by Mr. Dennis Anglin, longtime assessor, in 2003, and so I got to work under him for those 9 years before he decided to retire after 30 years of service, and got brave and decided to jump into that political realm of running for an elected office, which a lot of people don't realize the property assessor is elected in Tennessee, and so ran in 2012, just started my 4th term in September.
Well, great, thank you so much. So everyone's a little nervous, I think, in this room, as we know.
Me too.
Yeah, okay, well, good. The only things in life that are sure are death and taxes, and you are the tax man coming. So you're going to give us an update on this reappraisal process that's not anything new, really, right? Our last appraisal was in 2021?
2021, that's correct. So, historically, if we went way back, predated all of us in here, there was no mandated reappraisal plan in Tennessee. And so you could have a jurisdiction that would go decades without reappraising. So I want you to think about your home that you live in now. What was that property worth in 1982, right? And so what would happen is if you never had a reappraisal and those values just stayed flat, well, you'd have a tax rate that was much, much higher than it is now. Obviously, I come to this event almost at least all 4 times a year. I look forward to it because I look forward to the information that comes, but it seems like the majority of people here enjoy the McEwen project getting started. They brag on the schools that we build in this county. Well, those come with a cost, and so if our values never changed, our tax rate would be significantly higher to enjoy the quality of life that we have in Williamson County.
So that's really important to remember. If our values never changed, and so we've had an appraisal in 21, but you've got some slides and a historical look at where we are and maybe a little hint at what's coming.
Yeah, I'll just kick off if you want me to, Mindy. So, I always say in my stump speech, I kind of joke. I said I'm a Vandy fan, I'm a father of twins, and I'm a cancer survivor. But nothing gets me quite as nervous as reappraisal talks. It's a lot, But hopefully, and the objective of me being here today is for educating how it all works together. We say tax man, and I hear that at least once a week. But the truth of the matter is, we don't really care anything about taxes in my office. We care about value, and that's the value of your property. Now, I'm not shying away from how that affects your taxes. Look, there's only 2 variables that go into your tax bill that Ms. Paris is going to send out in October. And that's my staff's value on your property. That's what we're going to set this year. And then that's the tax rate that your county commission and your city commissioners set this summer. So there's only 2 variables. It's very simple, and that creates your tax bill in October. So you'll see here, I'm going to stand up. My heart rate's kind of jamming there. So let's just move around a little bit. Probably good to be a moving target reappraisal year.
Yeah.
Yes, that'll be great. Thank you.
You can see them right
So this will be my 6th reappraisal to be a part of. Again, I said I've started my 4th term as property assessor, and before I get into this, I was unopposed this last time, and that would not have happened if we were doing a terrible job. I like to think that. I like to think that if you came into our office, you have a pleasant experience where your opinions were heard, your questions were answered, you felt like you were being treated fairly. there are currently 28 folks in my office with me. And so I've got a good row of them back here. If y'all wave your hands, stand up, be proud of yourself, staff. I am not successful if it's not for them. And really what we're talking about today is the end of a busy year. So we've been working towards reappraisal for about 8 months, full court press, but this really is the ending of, as Mindy said, a 4-year process. So our last reappraisal was January 1 of 2021. So we set your value as of 21, and unless you've made a change to your property, we haven't touched that value. It stayed the same. Now, if I polled the audience today and said, what do you think that your home has done since 2021? I think we would have a collective agreement that it has went up significantly, right? As you think about 21 and 22 and the value increases that we received in those 2 years, those are record-breaking numbers that we've never seen in Williamson County. In 23 and 24, they've softened, but they're still moving in the right direction as far as property value. You know, we want our properties to go up. But as you look at this first slide, that's going to give you some perspective. So my first reappraisal in Williamson County was 2006, and you'll see that number there of $6 billion. So that represents a fractional assessment of all the market value of all taxable property. So Dennis, when he was assessor, would say at his speeches like this, in his 30 years, he had seen the county grow by $1 billion a year. And that was true when he started in office, it was $1 billion. When he retired 30 years later, it was just over $30 billion in market value. What I'm going to tell you is that when we turn over this reappraisal this year, that has went from $30 billion to $113 billion in just that 13 years. So this number here is a fractional assessment. That's if you're in a residential property, you're at a 25% assessment. So if you're in Franklin, the average home price in Franklin now is $1 million. So your assessment is 25% of that, or $250,000, $250,000. So these values that I'm showing here are your assessed values for the entire county. And so you see in 2006, 2011, 16, 21, those are all reappraisal years. It's very easy graph to read, right? Values are going up in each reappraisal. You're going to see in that last one, that's the 2025 reappraisal that we're talking about right now. We're looking at a $29 billion assessment for this year, the largest increase that we've ever seen in Williamson County history. So the math's fairly simple. We're looking at about a 50% overall increase in your assessed value. So I want that to sink in. I want you to feel that a little bit. I feel that as a homeowner. I want you to look over on the other side of the graph. Let's look at what tax rates have done in that same amount of time. When I was hired in 2003, the tax rate for Williamson County was $2.84 per 100 in assessed value, $2.84. Currently, it's $1.88, so it's went down almost $1, right? In 2006, that reappraisal, that tax rate dropped to $2.31. So you have two graphs here. The blue is what's called a certified tax rate, and that's what I'm going to create. I'm going to calculate that based on these new numbers. What is a certified tax rate? That's a revenue neutral rate. So the mayor, the commissioners, they can't look at these new values and say, okay, we're going to have a windfall of taxes. We also have to create a certified tax rate that remains revenue neutral across the board. And so that's what you're looking at here in that blue graph there. So in 2006, it was $2.31. The county commission came in, and because of the needs of the county, they adopted that rate of $2.31. And you can see over time, in 2011, the certified rate was $2.15. There was a need for increase in that tax rate for schools and for roads and for everything that we enjoy in this county. But you can see overall, that number has gone down. And so when I'm looking at this year's certified tax rate, it is still pending approval, and we're still calculating that actually today. The 2025 preliminary rate is $1.25. So while the values will see the most increase in Williamson County history, that certified tax rate's also dropping by the largest amount in Williamson County history. So this slide, I'm giving you a comparison of year over year. So in 2024, you'll see our total assessed value was $19.3 billion. As I said before, our current tax rate for last year was $1.88. That generated $363 million in taxes roughly last year. And so if we look to 2025, that big 50% increase on that assessed value, $29 billion in total assessed value. That indicated tax rate that I shared just a second ago of $1.25, well, you'll notice the taxes are still $363 million. So what will happen is these numbers, we plan to mail out assessment notices within 2 weeks. So 120,000 postcards with my name on it, with some phone numbers of my staff for you to call and discuss this value if you have questions. What is the goal of those assessment notices? We are trying to achieve 100% of market value. If you were going to sell your house today, what would you hope to get for that house? If your neighbor has a property that's like yours and it sold last year, what did it sell for? Our number should be right in line with that. If it's not, we want to know that. We want to have a conversation with you about value, what you think your house is worth, how we came up with that value, and what's the correct number. So we want to be upfront about that, but you'll see those numbers stay the same. So $29 billion is going to be off of those 120,000 parcels that go in. Now, what your commission is going to be charged with and your city commissioners are going to be charged with, again, what are those needs, and is that $1.25 sufficient to make up for that budget? Here's a comparison for you to show you some, kind of give you an idea of how this works. So in Home A, if your home was worth $600,000 in 2021, we're going to estimate that with a 50% increase, this year your home's worth $900,000. Assuming that the certified tax rate would be adopted or based off that certified rate, you'll see your 24 taxes were $2,820. They're going to be the same for this year. Again, that's based off of that certified tax rate, and this does not include your city rates. So each municipality will also have to calculate a certified tax rate as well. In Home B, we've said this house went up a little below average, so they're at 45%. You'll see how the taxes are reflecting that in 24, again, $2,820. But because they went up below what that average increase for assessed value was, they're paying $2,718. And then again in Home C, this one went up above that 50% marker, and they paid a little bit more in taxes. So all these are based off that certified tax rate, again, that's pending, but we feel like that these numbers accurately reflect what we're seeing in this time. Finally, I've got some appraisal dates here. Again, the goal of the office is to be at 100% of market value as of January 1 of the reappraisal year. We are going through that process of finalizing the numbers. We are audited by the State Division of Property Assessment. We plan to mail notices in 2 weeks, and then that next line, you'll see their informal appeals. Again, that's just a conversation. If you think that value's incorrect, then give us a call. Let's talk about it. When I first started, we would have the entire hallway just rows of people waiting to talk to us. Now, most of the time what that is a phone call, an email, an online submittal questioning that, but it's just dialogue. Maybe we didn't get to get in your house when it was being built, and we assumed that the bonus area over your garage was finished out and you left it as an attic. Well, we need to know that. And so it's important for you to look at what the characteristics of your home are. And again, the informal process just gives us an opportunity to talk about that. Outside of informal appeals, the large majority of our appeals are settled on that informal level. Again, just a conversation. But beyond that, we have a county board of equalization. It's actually the mayor's board that is put together. They'll meet the entire month of June as needed, and that's made up of 5 individuals from all over our county, unaffiliated with our office, just to be a fresh set of ears that you can come in and say, I think Brad's numbers, I just don't think it's right, and this is why. This is the evidence. You know, my neighbor next door, it's the same house, the same builder, and he's got me at 50,000 more. I think that's crazy. You know, that gives you that opportunity to talk to somebody not within my office. So this county board will meet as needed throughout the month of June, and then those certified tax rates are finalized. Our commissioners, along with our mayors, are going to be setting those tax rates, and then once that's all done, again, we will be wrapping up that tax roll, sending it to Ms. Paris's office for tax bills in October. It's a lot of information, Mindy. You might have a follow-up there.
I have 2 questions for you, and then I'm going to ask the mayors to sort of describe what's happening in the next 2 months after Brad gives you that magic number. So how many tax rates does your office calculate? Because you mentioned the cities, but there are also other special tax districts, and Karen can talk about that. But however, what's that?
Yeah, so I think that number's 7. Is that correct? 7. So you have so many different tax rates because you have, and again, why did I look to Karen? Because we don't do tax rates, right? We're value, not taxes.
Right.
But you've got each city is going to set their own tax rate. You also have the special school district as well. So each one of those are going to go through variations of that tax rate. Some of your municipalities pay the sanitation 5 cents, I believe it is, on the budget, and Franklin doesn't because they have their own trash collection. So a lot of different rates throughout the county.
So when's the next appraisal? I mean, I know you're just getting done with this one, and that's sort of asking someone, you know, don't take a breath, but go on. But I think the legislature made some, has had some involvement in that as well.
There has been a lot of conversation. So the way the law is, each county, all 95 counties are required to reappraise every 4, 5, or 6 years, or something less than that's been approved by the state. And what we've seen, especially in this last time, you know, we're talking historical increases. And so what the trend is throughout the state is to go to less frequent or more frequent reappraisals, less time in between those, in order to not have these huge swings in value. And so while it hasn't been approved fully, there is a proposal for a 3-year reappraisal, which would put us in 2028.
2028. So mayors, he hasn't given you the magic number yet, but you've been working on budgets. I would assume the budget committee and Rogers and Ken, your budget and finance, have been working for months on what's our needs are in the community. Talk a little bit about that as much as you can.
Well, everything that Brad is saying, we're waiting on that final number. He actually finishes, wraps it up, sends it to the state, and they'll certify it and get it back out to the cities, the counties, and then that whole process that we're going through, looking at all of the numbers. We have a budget committee that's made up of 4 of our county commissioners. I serve on it, and then Phoebe, our budget director, oversees that. So we're pushing towards that date to see where our revenues, because as you saw the slide that Brad shown, the 362 or 363 million, that's certainly not enough money to get the budget through. So you got to look at other things. Like Ken said, you have fees, you have impacts, you have a variety of things that go in and putting the budget together. We will be somewhere just shy of $1 billion budget this year. So you see this side of it's about a third. I am correct in that, Phoebe, just shy of $1 billion for this county. So it's very important that he gets the numbers right. We blame him, he blames stuff. Nobody wants to take responsibility for it. You'll be wanting to appeal your values, and you should if you think they're incorrect. But the whole system, as strange and as hard as it works, at the end of the day, we are able to find some common ground. It won't be a 24-0 vote, but we'll have to figure out how to make those revenues match up with the expenses.
Mayor Moore, what's your process?
Well, we've been going through the process, seems like, ever since January. But we start out by looking at our revenue streams, and we use information from the University of Tennessee as far as what we project our revenue stream will be for the coming year. And then each department will submit their base budget, and then they'll have their enhancements that they want, whether it's a new fire truck or a new software or whatever they may want. And the budget committee, which I know Alderman Barnhill and Alderman Peterson are here, and there are other aldermen that sit on that budget and finance committee. They have probably the toughest committee assignment because they sit through every single presentation from every single department, some real marathons. And so where we are right now is the board has ranked their enhancements that they think that the city would really benefit from, and staff now is going through those enhancements. We haven't had a city operations increase for about 9 years, so we're looking at how we can increase the operating expense, the operations portion of the budget, and we've got lots of capital project needs. So there's so many moving parts. We've made submissions to the state as far as the statewide partnership for a transportation project. So we're really scrambling to figure all that out, and we were glad to see the General Assembly left. And as they left $1 billion additional for transportation. So in the next 10 days or so, we'll be seeing that budget for the first time in Budget and Finance. I'm looking for Eric to confirm.
Eric's here.
Yeah, sometime around that, we're going to actually see what the proposed budget is, and then we'll go through our process where we have to hear it as a board for 3 times, and the final vote would be the last meeting in June.
So I've seen Alderman Potts, Alderman Bland, Vice Mayor Potts, Alderman Blanton, Alderman Peterson, and Alderman Baggett here this morning, and we appreciate their being here along with Eric Stuckey and his team. And we may approach this subject at one of our upcoming Frank Talks in either June or July when the budget shakes out a little bit more, so be aware and be looking for that. But now I'm going to call up, so we've been talking about the burden. Now we're going to talk about the relief, I think. And so we're going to call Karen Paris up and let her talk a little bit about tax relief projects that are available in the community. Also an elected official.
It's bright up here.
It's very bright up here.
Hi, Mindy. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being on the program this morning with these esteemed, our mayors, our property assessor. I hope everyone knows that we have the best property assessor in the state of Tennessee, and the way, bar none. And we're so fortunate in our office. We work so well with the assessor's office. Their whole team is great. And I did want to recognize 3 of our staff members who are here, Chief Deputy Trustee Donna Ryan, our tax relief coordinator Melanie Glenn, and Annette Martin, who's also with our tax relief. So ladies, can you stand and be recognized? Because of course they really run the office. And also, as I get going, to talk about tax relief, just bring this up. People sometimes don't even know what the county trustee is, so we are recognized as the property tax collector. In most states, we'd be known as the county treasurer. But a major part of what we do, and 3 out of our 8 staff members are dedicated to it, is tax relief and tax freeze programs. So that's what I'm here to talk about. I'll touch quickly just to say, you know, the assessments times the tax rate does translate into your property tax bill. And so what I have on the screen right now is just a breakdown of your county tax rate in 2024 and the various funds that it funds. 58% of that you'll see goes to schools directly, and the other breakdown there I thought people would find of interest. And then the various tax rolls that our office collects. So we are the county tax collector, but we are also the municipal tax collector for City of Franklin, Brentwood, and all those listed there, 5 of our 6 municipalities. We don't collect for the City of Spring Hill, and I think mostly that's because it falls across 2 counties. Makes it a little more difficult. So those are the numbers from 2024 that our office is charged to collect with. So, you know, we all know we're in a very affluent county, but not everyone is. And particularly when we think about longtime residents, seniors who've been here and seen those incredible rise in property values, there are my main message is just to be here and say, we're here to help. We're here to help with your tax questions, anything that you have, but also to be a messenger that there is assistance for seniors and disabled, low-income folks in our county. So I'd like to just touch on those. The program, the main program that is actually funded by the state of Tennessee is the State of Tennessee Property Tax Relief Program. It is available in every county, and the income limit is set by the state, and it's the same in every county. That income limit, it was established in 1973. The budget appropriation from the state this year is $41 million. Let's see, I think I have that on there. I'm not as smooth at this as Brad is, but the budget appropriation is $41,265,000 in the upcoming budget for the state of Tennessee. And last year they processed 170,000 claims. And that's claims from elderly, disabled, and disabled veterans. The income limit, and this only applies to elderly and disabled homeowners, is $37,500. That'll be 24 income for our 25 program. And applicants must own and reside in their home and provide some proof of residency and income. The tax relief for seniors and for the disabled is based on the first $31,800 of value. Well, when the average home is $1 million in the city of Franklin, it is providing a rather small amount of relief from the state. So, and I'll just click through there. That is also information. Same income guidelines apply to disabled homeowners, and that's disabled as rated by the Social Security Administration. We have about, with that income limit, sometimes people say to us, who can qualify for that? And it's true in this county. Most of our senior community does have income limits above that, but we have a little less than 900 households that are benefiting from the senior and disabled program. The state of Tennessee, also a part of that budget appropriation of $41 million and change, is the Disabled Veterans Program. And so we've talked about income, but the Disabled Veterans Program is based on sacrifice and not on need. So it's really a thank you from the state of Tennessee and from Williamson County for sacrifices that veterans have made to our community. And used to be, people would think, well, that means someone who is maybe missing a limb or something that we can all see, but there's a lot of disabilities that are unseen. And the Veterans Administration has recognized that, and so we're seeing a lot of really young veterans come in and apply for this program. Let's see what my slide says. Oh, well, I'll finish up on that to say that the determination is made by the state of Tennessee. We submit the applications, and the benefit, though, is actually a lot higher. The benefit is based on $175,000 of value of the home. What I've got up here right now is something that is unique to Williamson County. So I talked about the state programs that are available throughout the state of Tennessee, but in Williamson County we have a unique program called the Williamson County Broad-Based Tax Relief Program. It was established back in, I think, 1996, Rogers, something like that. Has been funded every year since by our wonderful commission who have really supported this program. I think this year the budget appropriation was $925,000 for that program. We have about 1,300 households benefiting from it. Income limit is a little higher this coming year, $48,770. So that's the second program. It is just for our elderly seniors, so 65 or older who own your own home. Then the last program that I'll hit on is the Williamson County property tax freeze. So back in 2007, I think there was a constitutional amendment and vote by the citizens across Tennessee to approve a tax freeze program for seniors. So that was approved, and of course Williamson County adopted it right away. And so beginning in 2008, seniors 65 or older who meet certain income criteria, it's established at the state level, but it's based on the median income of seniors age 65 to 74 and 74 to 85, I think, or 85 to 75 to 84 in the county. So basically they crunch all that numbers, and of course Williamson County's is the highest in the state. And this coming year, let's see, what is that going to be? These have all just changed. $67,460. So if someone, that's the median income for seniors in our county. So if someone's below that, they should reach out to us and we can get them going on this program. So what that does, the first two programs are rebates or actual reductions in taxes, the tax relief programs, but the freeze, my mouth's dry, but the freeze is just sets your taxes, freezes your taxes where they are. So whatever year you go in the program, if you apply for the first time, thank you. If you apply for the first time in 2025, using your 2024 income, then your taxes will never go up from there. As long as you maintain qualification on the program, it doesn't matter what the tax rate goes to, what your value is, your taxes will be frozen. We have about last year 1,550 households benefited from that program to the tune of over $350,000. So if you look at just on the Williamson County side, the budget appropriation plus the unrealized taxes from the tax freeze, about $1.3 million this past year, and I expect that to go up as values continue to go up.
So do you expect, you expect that number seeking the property tax freeze to go up, I would imagine, after seeing this probably the property tax increase? Do you?
So on the freeze, that income limit is just set by the state, and it's based on hard numbers, actual income of our senior citizens in our county.
So I wanted to ask the mayors just quickly, obviously we've seen a lot of development, and thank you, Mayor Moore, for sharing those development numbers with us. How do you think this is going to impact the real estate market or the market in general in Williamson County when people see these new tax rates or appraisals? Just wondering about that. Any thoughts? Any concerns?
I think you're asking me, is this a good place to live?
Yeah, I am asking you that.
Yes.
Okay. So it's worth the investment is what you're saying, all right?
So I think it's important to hear what Brad said. It's just as important to listen to what Karen is saying. There was $1.3 million, a little more than that actually, last year given for tax relief. You and I paid for people that can't afford, they hit these numbers. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Everyone has to pay taxes, whether you like it or not. And so what Karen has outlined are for those people that are not as fortunate we are making that money, we in turn step in to help them. So, and what Brad is doing is getting those numbers. It's important to try to get those numbers more frequently. When I first got started, I think it was 6 years or 5 years, property assessed values in between. But the more frequent times you can do it, you can capture the values and you can compress those numbers so that the finance people, Eric or Ken's area and my area, can live within those numbers and get them out. Everybody's sitting there, are you going to have a tax increase? The answer is we don't know yet. We would love to say that we're not. Ken has had about 9 consecutive years where they don't, but we've got almost $1 billion budget. We got 360 $1 billion worth of money coming in, so you've got to make that money up somewhere else. Most of your money that is from revenue that's been spoken for is schools. I think it was Brad that made Karen made the comment, or Brad, one of them, how much revenue goes directly to schools. Well, that's not even the surface of it. The schools budget will be $525 to $550 million this year. So they would eat all of your revenue. So it's like putting a puzzle together, but it all starts with Brad. So if Brad does his job, we're on time. And then Ken's happy, and all these other mayors are happy once they get those values done. If he doesn't do his job, then it's a delay, which ultimately just dominoes down the road. But we will get there, and it's always the objective to be able to continue to grow your community. We're growing. Another way to look at it, Brad walked off stage, but can I ask a question? I know you're short on time. Hey, Brad, in the values that you have, where does Williamson County rank out of the 95 counties?
So I'll pick on you a little bit. A couple of years ago, so Williamson County, you got the big three that everybody's comfortable with. Big four, throw Hamilton in there, Shelby, Davidson, Knox, Hamilton County. And then I just made mention to Rogers at one meeting that we were getting close to Hamilton County. And as soon as I asked him that, he said, have we beat Hamilton County yet? Have we beat them yet? Have we got our values higher than them yet? And we have. So we're currently fourth, but we're right on the coattails and may even capture Knox County. But again, and that's without a true downtown. I mean, we have our downtown, which we'd rather have, probably. I would rather have our downtown, but we don't have that true Nashville downtown with the value added. But because of our home values being so much above average, we have eclipsed some of the big counties with larger parcel count. So fourth currently, but right on the coattails of three.
I'm going to ask Brad a question. So when we look at the reappraisal dates and you're mailing those notices in May, what does that notice tell us? And then Karen, you send the tax bills out in October. How do we work together, and when's the time to contact our mortgage company or something about the IRS card?
So the front of that card, it's just going to be a postcard, and it's going to have your information. It's going to have your property address, your parcel number. It's going to have your previous assessed value and your current assessed value, your current market value. And so on the back of that card, what we're trying to do is compress this 20 minutes that I just told you about onto a postcard. And so, ideally the reason that we do these events is I don't want you to get that postcard at 8 o'clock when you get home and you see that number and you go, my property went up 70% in value. And then you can't sleep or you're knocking on my door. We want to educate people that we keep talking about paying more, and your tax bill probably will go up in October, depending on how much your property value went up and depending on what the commission does. It is not going up 50%. And so that's what we're trying to alleviate, that anxiety that comes with that, depending on how much your property went up or not. Dixon County went through a property assessment a couple of years ago, and my mom lives in Burns. And one of my cousins posted on Facebook just throwing the assessor under the bus. The first comment on it was my mother, and she said, "Girl, I know." I said, and so I was the second comment. I said, "Mom, you know how this works." So I did a deep dive. I went onto their trustees site, and I did a 20-year review of my mom and dad's taxes. Their taxes had went up about $160 over 20 years. So it's all in the messaging. You see the front of that card, you see the increase, and you lose it.
So
Karen has a history on, and I'm going to give you the microphone. Karen has a history on her page. Look at your property tax and how much they've gone up over the last 20 years, and then call Rogers and thank him. That's serious.
So Karen, so I'm going to get my tax, well, I'm not going to get it because it's going to go to my mortgage company, right? My tax bill, I might not see that, but I will see the impact before those taxes become due and payable at the end of February. So what's the process when you mail out those tax bills?
Sure, thank you. So the Tax bills do go out to everyone, businesses and homeowners. Early October is always our goal, but we do not mail to property owners whose mortgage companies have identified the property that they intend to pay it. So when October comes around and you have a mortgage company that services your mortgage, just get on our website, www.williamsonpropertytax.com. You can look at your taxes, how much they are, kind of pre-calculate if they've gone up, what that might mean in your mortgage escrow payment. But all of that occurs behind the scenes. We have great partners with the mortgage companies, and those usually all get paid in December. So, Mindy, may I do something really quickly, which is I had not gotten, oops, it may be out, my slide. I just wanted to put that up at the end to just, again, any questions with property taxes, there is our website and our phone number. And particularly, I just wanted to circle back one more time on the tax relief, if I may, and that is, no one in this room may benefit, or very few, from these programs, but there's a great quote, Ronald Reagan quote, on the state website for property tax, and it says, property tax relief, and it says, you know, we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. So we're just wanting to share the news and the message. Please tell someone at church, tell a senior citizen that you think might be struggling. The programs have been around so long, but people still are still finding out about them, even though we're trying to get that message out. So I just want to share that.
Thank these people so much for the work they do and being with us. Our mission is to keep you informed and keep you engaged in the community. So stay engaged over the next couple months. Things are going to be happening at every level, whether it is in the schools, districts, through the school board, at the city and county level. Stay engaged to keep informed as to what is coming. So thanks so much to these people, and we'll see you hopefully at Frank Talks on Monday, May 12th at the Franklin Special District, for our next Breakfast with the Mayors at the